Hello guys, welcome to my Blender tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create cloth physics. If you didn't know, I just recently uploaded a video on um, my first ever Blender animation, or my Blender render with physics, if you want to call it that. And I'm going to be showing you how to do cloth physics. Now, I use a special type of blender, you can look it up, but I use Blender 3.6. Now, I think Blender 3.6 is the best blender if you want to do physics and stuff. I'm sure newer versions have a better way of doing it, but this is just the way that I found to do it, and it works well for me. So, without further ado, I guess I want to say, let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, we have to create our cloth. We create our cloth by going to add, mesh, and plane. Then from here, you're going to go and find your scale, which I have already selected, and you're going to scale this out a little bit, just that way you're able to see it. Now, I'm going to show you how to get a interaction, then I'm going to show you something cool that you can do with it to kind of mimic what I did. So we're going to create a second object, add mesh, and then you can add in any of these, just not cone, because cone does not work very well with cloth physics for whatever reason. I'm going to choose just a cube for simplicity's sake, and I'm drag it up so that way you're able to see this a little bit better. From here, I'm going to click on my plane that I just have, and I'm going to select cloth physics. Now, this is all you have to do, really. You don't really have to do anything else. You can adjust the properties, like if you want to adjust how heavy it is, you can, but I'm going to leave it as default, as we don't really need this anymore. Yeah, you can adjust and make it look better, but this is just the basic tutorial. I did adjust mine, so you can play around with it all you want. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to just run this. Now, nothing's going to happen. It should clip through your cube. So all we have to do to fix this is come to our cube and press collision. That's all you have to do. And now you have um a plate that falls on a cube. So we wanted to make this look like the cloth from that animation, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna click on here. We're going to go to edit mode, and you're going to right click and press subdivide. And from here you can adjust the amount of cuts that you want to have. Like, I'm going to make mine look good in this tutorial, so I'm going to use 30 cuts. But I have a beefy computer that can run this kind of stuff. If you have a weaker model computer, like some of my friends, they use Chromebooks to do this stuff. I would recommend a smaller amount, like maybe 4 or 5, but it really just depends on what you feel like. So yeah, this is why. There's a lot of vertexes. So what you're gonna do now is that you have all this, you can go back into object mode, and now all you have to do is run your animation, and boom, have yourself a cube. If I turn on my material mode, you'll notice that we have shadows and everything that run with it, and it looks cool. Now, to fix the shadows looking pixelated, just do right click on it and shade smooth, and it should look even better. But you kind of see how it kind of like folds in on itself. Let's fix that. So remember to set it back to your first keyframe, or press this button if you want to reset it, so that way the animation will render again. It's one thing I have learned. Come down here and you want to go to collisions and turn on self collisions. Now, once you have self collisions enabled, now you can run it again, and it should look a tad bit better, if not more smooth than what you had. And this is how you create a cube. Now let's make it where a cube and a ball are able to interact um, with the thing. So what I'm gonna do is, well, you already see that we have a interaction with the cube right here. Let's make a falling cube. So we can get rid of this cube we don't really need anymore. Come into here, go back into edit mode, and I'm going to teach you something cool. So whenever you go in here, all of them should be selected. If they're not selected, that's not a problem. What you're going to do is you're going to deselect all of them, and you're going to shift click on the uppermost corners of your um, plane. So once you've done that, you're going to come in here to this data section down here. You're going to add a vertex and then press assign. And then from here, you're going to go back into object mode, come into physics, come down here to, um, you have to come to the, where is it? Oh, phooey. You have to highlight on shape. Now, once you've highlighted on shape, what you can do is you can select a pen group, and you can select the group that you just created. You can name this pen or whatever you want. I just didn't name it for the sake of the video. But now look, now you have a cloth that is pinned on all four sides. And this is what the base of our animations are going to do. I'm going to show you the easier part of this first, which is to just create a sphere that has physics, and then we'll get into the more complicated notch. So we're going to add mesh UV circle. Don't do normal circle as it doesn't seem to work all that much. Then from here, what you can do, you can shrink it, you can scale it, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to shrink it just a tad bit, and I'm going to move it around like here. Yeah, there we go. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select cloth on it. Yes, I know this may sound weird, but just go with it for a second. I'm going to adjust the mass of it to be 1 kilo. Then I'm going to find myself, I'm going to drop down all of these. I'm going to turn on self collision. I'm going to go down to, where is it? I swear I just had it before. Okay, maybe don't drop all of them down. I'm just doing it because I love putting, unnecessary pressure on myself. Speaking of which, you actually have to select pressure, and you can adjust your pressure volume. I'm going to turn it up to 30, and what it'll look like is just a cube falling. Now, this is normal because, as I demonstrated with a cube, what you have to do to get this is you have to press collision. And then from here, it does actually interact with your cloth, although not much because of how great the mass is. You can adjust this, like I'm going to turn it back down to 0.2 this time. But now look at this. Now, it's still going through. This is to be expected. All I have to do is come here and turn on collision for it, and it should work now. And now you have yourself a ball that interacts with the environment around the cloth. So now you can turn this up, and you'll have yourself a pretty neato looking ball. Now it's not going to fall down, which if you want that to happen, I recommend finding a different tutorial, as I prefer this ball, and I'm not going to explain how to do it differently. Um, But from here, then, let's add in a cube that actually does interact with the cloth in a more civilized manner. So what you're going to do is you're going to add another mesh and cube. Now, I could just make my own, but this is just simple, and I like simplicity. I'm going to scale this down, and you can also rotate this if you wanted to. It's kind of cool to rotate a cube around, just place it wherever I want. What you're going to do is, instead of doing cloth like before, you're going to select soft body. Now you may be thinking, wait, soft body, isn't that for like the jello and stuff? Yes, but also no. What you're going to do is you're going to turn off goals, you're going to come down here to edges. Then from here, you're going to turn your push and pull up all the way, and turn your bending to 1. Then from here, you're going to go in here and you're going to check self collision, and then you're going to add in a collision weight, come down to soft body and cloth, and turn this up to about 0.75, which I found that works best with soft bodies. And then from here, all you have to do is run the animation, and you see the ball doesn't really interact with the environment, but the cube, on the other hand, does interact with the environment. And so, I don't know, I hope that this is a kind of a cool, like, let's tutorial, like a let's go tutorial, like, hey, look at this, you're able to, I can teach you how to make this now, and you can do what you want with it. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little cloth beginner stuff. What we learned today how to do was create an object and make it where the cloth actually interacts with it by just turning on collision and creating your cloth. You can see that here when it drops down like this. You can see that there. We also learned how to create a ball with almost somewhat physics. Don't mind what's going on over here. With almost your true physics of a cloth, but not really. More of like a bouncy ball, if you will. And we learned how to create a cube that actually does interact with our physical boundaries that we've created, which is cool. Anyways, hope you like this tutorial. I was thinking about doing something else, but the upload schedule sucks. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I actually have to do some editing. Alright, well, I will see you later.